Hello. Today's Cosmic Key Collective reading is going to go with the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. First card, put yourself in their shoes. Summer. On the top of the deck, we landed on Not Yet and Air. 1, 2, 3, 4. Choose You is what flew out of the deck, followed by Trust Your Own Intuition. Spirit Team. So, message directly from the Spirit Team, but also being reminded that you have an entire resource available to you beyond the physical. Willful ignorance. Options. Okay? So that the message from the Spirit Team is that you're ignoring that you have options here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. A new era begins, and that felt particularly difficult to pick up and then flow. So this entire reading is basically about the discomfort that comes with change, okay? So what we're being asked to do, the themes that have been popping up a lot lately are in reference to this card, the putting yourself in their shoes. What this is having perspective on who you used to be, how you used to handle things, and the ways in which you would have approached the things that you experience in a completely different way. But also understanding that change, transformation, transmutation, and moving into a whole new era of self and of life means that there's going to be a little transition period. There will be feelings of a bit of discomfort, because everything that's new brings new routines and new structures and new ways of doing things and new ways of perceiving things. And that change can feel uncomfortable even when it's all hunky-dory, even when it's at the peak of its amazingness, even when it feels awesome, even when it's an amazing blessing that's coming into your life. This new energy can feel uncomfortable because it's so foreign, because we've never experienced it before. And sometimes things that we don't understand can feel uncomfortable because we don't have the answers. And not having the answers can feel uncomfortable because there's all that layer of unknowing and feeling a little, I don't know, and the thing is it's okay. It's okay to not know. It's okay to step out of the comfort zone and understand that you're going to be fine when you step outside of that comfort zone, because the only way to welcome in that new energy is to step outside of the comfort zone and the old energy. Even when we've purged out all the old energy and we've let all the things go that we need to let go, and we're ready and we've made space, we still need to be the one that takes the step out of that old platform we used to stand on. Take a step off of it, take that leap, trust fall into the arms of the multiverse, and understand that you're going to be caught. You're not going to hit the ground. If you're feeling as though there's some sort of force here, or that you need to force something, always understand there are plenty of options, and it's never being forced. If there's a situation where you feel as though there's one option and that's the only option you can choose, oftentimes that comes from a place inside of us where we understand that all the other options are non-negotiables, meaning we're not going to do those because they're not the thing that's the healthiest. They're not the option that makes the most sense. They're not the thing that is meant to be chosen. So if you feel as though it's this thing of like, I'm being forced to do this. Redirect that perspective and understand that it's not being forced. You're making that decision and choosing that thing despite how uncomfortable it might feel, and choosing not to perceive things in a way that you ordinarily would have in the past as a past version of yourself. That's awesome. That's incredible. It means that you really have changed. You really have grown. That you're not going to choose that old energy. You're not going to choose to step into that old self and reflect that old life back at yourself. That feeling of force is actually a feeling of accomplishment if you choose to see it that way. That if you feel like there is no other option, then there's a reason why it feels that way. Ask yourself the questions. Right now, it's very important to continue to go with the flow of everything that's occurring outside of ourselves while we aren't understanding the newness. While you're learning what this new is like, while you're maybe stumbling a little bit and kind of creeping into that new stuff and dipping your toe in the new energy and starting to figure it out, allow things to unfold before you before taking action. That role of being in the observer rather than the absorber is very important. Rely on that tool. Continue to choose yourself, your own growth, your own peace and comfort. Protect your energy, protect your boundaries by sticking firm to them and not going back on them. That means with yourself and with others. And pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. Sometimes we misinterpret our intuitive instinct, but the intuition is never wrong. If you feel some kind of about something, then step back, meditate on it, ask yourself questions about where that feeling comes from. Is it from a trauma response? Is it because your intuition's saying, hey, we've already done this before, we've already lived this, we understand this, look out? It's one of those things where it's very important to take a step back and allow yourself to sort of marinate in everything that's going on. Ask yourself the important questions. Observe things as they unfold before you. And take steps and take action as it's happening. Don't project your consciousness into that worry mode where you're like, what if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Well, if this happens, I'll do this. Well, if that happens, That's how we're giving our power away to things that haven't even occurred yet. You do not want to assign meaning to that which you don't understand yet. So we reel that back in, turn the focus towards ourselves, turn the light of focus onto us, learn about who's the new you now. How are you different? How do you see things differently? What do we need to sort of shed that might be left from the old era, the old self? And you might not be seeing all of this new stuff reflected in your external reality. However, allow yourself to feel the new energy. How do you feel different? How does your life feel different? What do you feel coming in? How can you allow yourself to feel excited about what's about to happen and the change that's occurring rather than feeling afraid or apprehensive? It's one of those things where sometimes going with the flow can feel particularly difficult, especially when it comes to things that we don't have control over and we don't understand. Surrendering that need to control things or that desire to force things to happen can feel particularly difficult. However, I know you can do it. You've done it before. Think about all those times where you've surrendered to something and realized, oh, I don't have power over that. I don't have control over that. And getting caught up in the what if seas is often one of those ways that we don't realize we're doing that. So when you start to project your consciousness to the future and you're like, well, I'll do this and this and this and this, and there's a difference between being prepared and causing yourself undue stress and worry by projecting your consciousness onto things that haven't happened yet, or that you don't know the full picture of it yet. It hasn't shown itself to you yet. We can jump to so many conclusions that way. We can overthink that way. And you're the one responsible for where you're putting your focus, remember? So, focus on the now, keep yourself in the present, allow things to unfold. Don't allow yourself to worry. You got the power. There are so many things that we are capable of controlling that we don't focus on while we're attempting to force all these other things when those are the things that we don't have any control over. So take a deep breath together one more time, okay? 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Everything's gonna be alright. You keep on keeping on. I love you.